All right, welcome traders. This is Bruce at Bookmap. This is the All Markets webinar. We'll get going. The goal here is to read the order flow in the live market to understand goal where price might be going by reading that order flow, the auction process. It is an auction, and we want to understand the participants and their behavior in that auction via the orders. This is the only way that participants can engage with the market. It is via orders. That's why order flow is an edge. All right, so general disclosure. All Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so we have this onboarding webinar today. So if you're new to Bookmap, let me put the link in the chat for you. Yep, thank you, Steven. Steven's also, the demo traders also put into YouTube there a couple links for you for the Bookmap Blue Jacket and the Bookmap Academy. Our Bookmap Academy meeting is on Thursdays. This webinar for onboarding is today at 2 p.m. The goal here is to get you to log into bookmap.com, find out where the link is to download Bookmap, download it, install it, get it connected to data. We'll go through data subscriptions as well as connecting to the actual data in Bookmap. And get you up and running with the various symbols in the market. All right, so that's our goal, and that's what we go through in our onboarding webinar. If you're interested, I put the link in the chat there. It's about a half hour long, and we'll answer any of your questions as well. All right, so let's jump in. Let's take a look at the markets. And let's start off with a recap of yesterday. I wanted to, because I had a pretty dismal day, what we, looking back on it, what did I do wrong? This is so important to go through. Now, kind of did it in real time of like, looking back and saying, all right, so it's rollover period. The order flow is not making much sense. We already knew that going into it, yet we're still looking for opportunities and going through order flow events. Even that is rather valuable, just because if you understand that this is a time that doesn't make much sense in the setups, you've lost an edge. So you might consider just waiting for that rollover period to pass by. Because the participants in that auction, the participation is different. Therefore, our setups have lost an edge. Our order flow setups that we go through. If we look back at the if I look back at the video from yesterday, okay, maybe some of the trade management was pretty bad, but the setups were good. There was opportunities there, and we find them again and again. If I just kind of zoom out, though, there's something more I wanted to cover in here, and that is we're going to zoom way out and take a look at what's happening here. Okay, now this is actually on the zoom out right now. You do not have access to this version, but it is we're able to put in input or output, I should say, a massive amount of data in here, and this is order flow data in Bookmap. Okay? This has been a real treat for us. Well, we can see that we're coming down into these kinds of areas down in here, and we were anticipating a reaction. Let's actually, we're gonna have to jump to our candlestick chart and take a look here, because there's a higher time frame outlook here or analysis. Well, as we mentioned yesterday, this was a 10% correction in the markets. That hit the news wires. Everyone's like, wow, 10%, like, maybe it's time to start buying. And we saw a little bump on Friday. We also saw a bump yesterday. And we're still up compared to Friday's close, I think. Are we? But we're pretty close to it. You can see current price right here. And then yesterday's move to the upside. Okay, so here's yesterday's move right here. And this is the 9:30 candle. Closed at 9:45 up here. And due to the bullish activity yesterday, I'm sorry, Friday, as well as yesterday, we were looking for continuation in here. And it flagged really, and this was very difficult, very choppy trading all morning long. But we were looking for the continuation move here. We have the up move. We're above all these areas on the hourly here in the middle. Okay, this is the daily over on the left, hourly here in the middle, and then on the right hand side we have the 15-minute. Okay, and we're just trading into a level here in the 15-minute as well. So we're looking for a reaction here. So we'll try to get through this quickly so we can look at the current market. Anyway, so this was actually the analysis in here that I kind of failed to look at on the higher time frame. Now on the lower time frame, our setups were there, but it really was quite choppy. Yeah, even this is not quite correct. We have to kind of go in a little bit lower here. There is a couple of points in here and a third point here. They matched up on a trend line. Okay, so in this kind of area in here, where we have this kind of wedge breakout to the upside, this is the retest back to it. Now this happened in the afternoon, and we were looking for that continuation. Well, we got it yesterday. Okay, we got it in a pretty big way to the upside here. Well, big enough in this environment, and that's what we were initially looking for. And we got kind of tossed and turned around in this very choppy move all the way back down to just about where the market had opened or had initiated this move here to the upside. So anyway, you can even see like, yeah, there's going to be some trend lines in here that broke. And then finally, though, it's in here where we're going to look for that volume push in the order flow. Okay, and that's where we're looking for our demand in here. I hope you guys caught this and stayed with this direction yesterday, because this turned out to be pretty nice trade, and the volume really started to pick up a little bit later though. So if we take a look in here, okay, so yeah, somewhere around up in here the volume started to pick up, and that's where we broke the high and then continued on up. And you can see where we went to as well on the hourly here. This is a good area to take some profits. Okay, we didn't get a gap fill here. There's a big gap here, as you guys can see, and there's a gap this morning now too, right? So to the downside. Anyway, so just looking back again and looking at a little bit higher time frame analysis in here, this kind of flagging pattern all the way back down, but the buyers do remain in control in this move to the upside. Okay, so now what do we see today? Well, the opposite. You can see the gap down, and then the sellers are in control from this point on down. Okay, so and we're just flirting right now with this area here at what is it? In the has this rolled over? I don't know if it has. 56.11 we have here on the M contract. Now it has not rolled over in rhythmic yet, the continuous contract. Okay, so but we're down in that level technically anyway. It doesn't matter, and we're looking to see who's in control now in these areas here. This is a good level, so That's important to make a distinction here. Okay, we want to trade at important levels, and this one's pretty good, and we are getting a reaction, and we do see on a smaller time frame a trend here that is broken. Okay, and we do see the buyers come back in, and we do see this level kind of still holding right now above where it broke out from in here. Okay, in fact, it's right here. All right, so now the question is, these buyers in here, is that just kind of a knee-jerk reaction and up into high liquidity up in here, or are we going to see a reversal at this point? To me, it looks like we're still trending lower, and we're going to get a reaction here soon. Okay, so we can see some buying coming in right here, but we're going to be looking to see if we get some selling to break our level here at 66 and then maybe trade on down to the lows, or this high liquidity at 56.60 on the M contract. All right, another thing to take a look at, we can continue to make some market structure in here. On these days, like yesterday, although we know the order flow is, we got the bigger trend to the downside, we have this selling coming in here, which is significant. Okay, that's who's in control of this market at this time frame from 10-11 onwards to present. Okay, so we'll see if we can get some sellers to break the area and trade back down to the 60 level. Okay, now one of the things that has made it a little tricky as well about breakdowns in this environment and breakouts in this environment is usually we don't get the follow through on the move like this here. We get another pullback to test an area, and then we get the follow through. Okay, so this happens quite a bit. In fact, sometimes these pullbacks even come back up and test these levels up in here in the structure. Okay, so this is something to be aware about with the risk in this high volatility kind of environment. All right, so that's something to look at here. Look for that pullback, and then look for the exhaustion up in here, and look for the selling to come back in, and then maybe we can get the push down lower. Okay, all right, so let's see here. Any questions on that? See, morning Rob, Alois, Shark Blue, trading his life. Okay, yeah, you can see exactly what I'm talking about in here. This is something it's looking pretty good that we should get this follow through to the downside, and we are not, right? Very, very trappy kind of environment like this, and this back and forth like this. Okay, so you get these other edges, top edges that are tested, and then we get maybe the move back down to the bottom of the range, and then maybe follow through after that. Okay, that seems to be the case in here. So case in point right now. Okay, now is it ready now? Let's see. Right. So now, if good morning, D. Great content you've been making. So welcome. Yeah, I don't know if you're interested in attending the really, really great. For just getting into Bookmap, you're off to a great start. If you're going to attend the Thursday meeting 4 p.m., it'd be great to have you, the Bookmap Academy meeting. Okay, all right, so let's see in here. Okay, so now again, guys, like I don't want to. I will take positions in here for tests of areas, like for example, right in here, are we going to? I'm looking for what we had just covered, maybe a retest back up into these areas in here, and then the top of the range, and then sellers to come back in. Okay, so this is more. It's not a trading room. We're experimenting in here. And I hate to call it that too. I mean, we're looking at setups in here, but we're looking for just placing orders in here and going through some of the trade management and how to manage or entries, exits, and trade management within the order flow. It's such an important part of it. It's everything, right? So we're going to look here, see if we get exhaustion up here, and if we get sellers in here, we can look for a push back down to the bottom of the range. Okay. So let's see if we can get that. I'm looking at a little micro area up in here, and I'm looking for sellers. Here's our exhaustion. Okay, now I'm looking to see where the sellers are here. I want to see them below this buying right here. Okay, that's the trap set. Now we're looking for the sellers. We tested up here. We found some buyers. We had exhaustion. We have the trap. Now, can we get the follow through is the question. Okay, and the bottom of the range in here would be the first place. In fact, we can even add into that and then take some off at the bottom of the range in here. Okay, and we can see if we can get down into the 60 level. Well, we're already there. Okay, so anyway, I'm still looking for it a bit further here. Let's see if we can get back down to this 60 liquidity here. It would be our target. Okay, let's actually put in a stop loss, take profit in here, so you can see exactly what we were talking about yesterday. We're moving right back to break even here already. Okay, so or where it dropped from heavily here. Okay, so I'm going to put in my stop loss up here and my take profit down. Ooh, that is not a stop loss. Hold on a minute here. Okay, we're going to just exit here. All right. Hold on a minute. All right. Okay. So yeah. Again, I didn't have my brackets set here. That's why I just went in like that. Let's set our brackets in here. Okay, at 2-to-1 ratio. Anyway, all right. So as you guys can see, like this didn't really follow through either. We got the move below the swing here. We did go to lows, but we didn't get to our high liquidity targets in here. This was happening to us yesterday as well. Yeah, Stephen, if you don't like the movement, don't trade, or do kind of what we're doing in here. Get a feel for things, experimenting in here, and I hate to use that word experimenting. This is like detailed study in here. Okay, it's just to get a feel for your setups in the live environment. Then you can go back and record your data in Bookmap and replay it. Go through the details. Okay, this is how you'll improve. And this is another element in here of why we'll take positions in here. It's not a trading room. It's not to be meant as a trade copier. In fact, it is really dissuaded. We are looking to build you as traders in here. And this is like a kind of a focused study, all right, in order flow. All right, and we just always get the question, so that's great, the order flow is doing this and that, but how do you get in? All right, well, we just went through an example. Okay, so and I kind of missed setting my break even right here, but we got out on a pullback here. Now you can see, like, look at how whippy this is. Okay, this was the move we're looking for, and you can see that we're getting quite a rebound out of it. All right, so let's see if the buyers try to take control. Does not look like it. I do not see that kind of activity up in here. I see some buying in here that kind of moved it away from our area here, and then I see some buying in here, but this does not look like it's been moved away from the area here. Okay, so let's see if we may see buyers up here, and we may come back up into 80. I do not see it in here in the structure Structure is actually not bad, but I do not see it in the volume. Okay, and I do not see it in the liquidity. Okay, so there's nothing to do then. This is more like kind of chop. Yeah, DNT, this is a great way to like jump, or I'm sorry, not to jump in, to get your feet wet, taking kind of warming up, getting a feel for things. This is a great subject to cover, DNT, because yesterday I kind of jumped right in. I had been sick on Friday. I did not trade on Friday. It'd been a few days. It was Monday on the over the week after the weekend, and and expectations need to be tempered. All right, so things like this make a big difference. We're going to bring a lot more of this to the Bookmap Academy, okay? And we'll be going through these in a lot more detail. I can't wait, guys. I think this next quarter, I'm hoping it's next quarter. There's some more kind of groundwork to do here, and then we can really jump into some back testing, building edges, building your playbook, talking about trade management, talking about trader psychology, and really getting into the details. Okay, and this should make all the difference. Okay, playing those hands of poker, repetition again and again, and getting involved in the markets. So let me go back to DNT, your question here, or your statement about like, yeah, you like to get involved with kind of trading and demo a little bit, getting a feel for things before going live. And I think that's a great thing to do. Another great thing to do is just start with the day. Okay. Now I don't have a whole lot of data in here, but how is it trading? What's the behavior? Who are the traders involved in here? Like these different players. And what's beautiful here in Bookmap is the player activity. We've mentioned it many times. You'll see the same behavior for a few days, most likely. You'll see the maybe some sellers like coming in and hitting the bid really, really hard with a barrage of sell orders, and then the market floats back up and maybe even goes above it. But we'll see that behavior, and we can see them, that same player, and I mean them. They will maybe sell again at that same level, and we can see that behavior. And we're not sure if it's the same player, but we're pretty dang sure. It is a signature. It's kind of like their footprint in the sand, and you can read it. And this is it's a real big benefit in Bookmap, is to being able to see that. Anyway, but going back for the day and looking at the behavior in here, okay, starting to understand the structure, the order flow, meaning the limit buy and sell orders, okay, the supply and the demand, the reaction to the buyer, the aggressors, the market buy and sell orders, okay, the dots, and that context between both of them, passive and aggressive orders in here, and then start to kind of get a feel for things as you go forward. And then that will also set you up pretty nicely of like, now I've kind of done my homework, at least for the day. I kind of have a feel for things, and I'm looking for maybe a specific setup that you trade to work out. Okay, so maybe it's a reversal setup that you're looking for. Okay, now this is starting to turn into reversal right now. Okay, so in fact, I'm looking for buyers up here to trade through it up into our 80 level here, just about 78 or 80. Now again, typically I would look for them to build some support here, see these buyers come in. Now, not in this environment though. Just traded into high liquidity here, and it's looking pretty good. This is pretty strong buying. This is pretty strong buying. We would typically look for buyers to take it higher here, okay? And they may, but in this environment, we see it come into this area here, and then we see the sellers take it all the way back down to the bottom of the range again, and maybe we get a stop run below the range in here before we see buyers come back in. Okay, so we're going to look for that in this environment here. Okay, so that was another kind of mistake that I had made yesterday. All right, best thing to do, I find, is try to learn as quickly as you can from your mistakes and try not to make them again. That's a tall order, but the more that you go through that process, the better it will be. Okay, use replay mode. Go back and look at it again and again and again. Okay, train your eyes, train your reactions. Okay, so here we are, and let's see if we can get these buyers back up here now. Okay, so it looks pretty good. Okay, let's see if we can get just a bit more in here, or it's just another rotation. GH, let me see, the red on the right of the screen means there are more aggressive sellers. You mean up here or where? Up here next to the Bookmap logo? Yes, okay, this is an imbalance indicator add-on for the book and for volume. We've had it for quite a while. So we can see like it works off of our chart range in here, the data that is within our viewable chart. And we're seeing a book imbalance here. You can see it fluctuate. And then our volume also in balance in here. So it's not much. They're kind of at zero. The book is fluctuating a bit here. Okay, so here we are again. Now we're looking for that breakout. Okay, so in fact, I will take a shot at that because this is now our next attempt after trading back down here. Okay, so I would look for trying to hit a single up into this area up in here. Now, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. My stop is down below here. Okay, so this is looking for, we had a little bit of a pullback here, but we're still finding buyers now. Okay, now I'm looking for the buyers to overcome the sellers and get some price discovery here. Okay, now it's not looking good there. There's some selling. And if I do see those sellers come in, I am out. Okay, so yeah, it's not worth it. If we do come back up here again and find more buyers, we'll jump in. Okay, this was not what I was looking for right here. Okay, I saw this buying come up here and again in here, and then followed by exhaustion and sellers in here. Nope, that's not it. Okay, so that's my expectation in here. All right. Alan's going to come here. Yeah, looking for those squeezes. Absolutely. So yeah, you know, the ES has been trading for a while now. It's kind of slowed down a little bit, and the volatility has dropped some, you know, so but it still kind of reminds me of the NASDAQ, the way it's trading in here. You know, we hit high liquidity and we get reactions. Yeah, you can see that not being stubborn up in here and getting out when we had something tell us to get out was a good idea. And now let's see if now that's a lot of selling in here. That kind of keeps me away from looking for those buyers. However, what if the structure says something different here? Okay, what if we get back up here and we see those buyers? Okay, it's more likely we'll get that breakout. POC is moving quite a bit. That's the environment. You know. In fact, let's put some other structural lines on here. for you guys. I usually stay away from them because I don't want to cover just one way of trading. Okay, so in fact, we'll put multiple in here. So put our VWAP in here for trading is life. Okay, here we go. So here we're coming back up. Now, I'm looking for a follow through here. This is pretty good buying. And let's see the reaction up here. Now let's give it a shot, right? Looking for some follow through in here. Pretty good momentum. And this is our, how many attempts now up here? So looking for the follow through. Okay, and we're leaning on this momentum in here to take us higher. Okay, now this should work immediately as well. And we might get one more pullback here, but no, this is looking good. And if it doesn't, we'll just get out. Okay, here I'm going to front run that high liquidity at 78 by a tick. I think it should trade. We could even get to VWAP here. Trading is life. That might. Okay, it's not looking good now. We're back again here. So looking at this little range in here, if we see sellers break it, we're out. Okay, this is the setup we're looking for, yeah, we're out. Okay, so we'll do it again though if we get back up here and we see that buying that we're looking for. Okay, actually bounce off of POC potentially. Okay, and this is where they came in initially. So this is more of a pullback here. How about our trend lines? Okay, just market structure. Maybe we need to wait a little bit more here to find buyers off of another technical area. Okay, let's try it again here. Okay, and I'll look for just in front of 80 liquidity here. Yeah, this market is not following the rules. It is very tricky. Yeah, usually this would go to VWAP. I'm with you on that. Trading is life. I'm still kind of looking for it here. It's just there's a couple of different things that I also noticed by kind of back testing this. Also something from yesterday to take a look at was we saw a cluster of buying, but it was below the high. And I was looking for that follow through just because of the strong buying. However, it was lower, right? And that was concerning. So that's what kind That was an oversight. So this one's different though, because we're up here at the top edge of the range here, and we're getting buyers. It's not below the buying previously. It's at the range, right, and slightly breaking out. Okay, so that's why we're looking for the continuation here. Okay, this one's a little different in that regard. Okay, so let's see if we get it. Okay, so they're trying, you know, you can see it over and over again. Now it's starting to wane a little bit as well. You can see that there's less and less buying up here. So if we don't get our breakout here and we start to see heavy selling or exhaustion in here, we'll just exit again. Okay, so we're starting to see it, but there's high liquidity here that might be absorbing it. Okay, so still looking for the buyers to try to power through it here. Okay, hit some stops and get the run here to the upside. Okay, also another thing, I'm going to exit it, guys. Here's why. Just like yesterday, in this environment, we were noticing, which was kind of odd to me. Okay, so we traded some of this liquidity and some of this liquidity here. We're looking for this liquidity up here at 56.80 to trade. And like yesterday, we came like a tick or two away from some really big areas of liquidity and got these pretty strong reversals away from it. It's just not worth it. So I'm just going to play it this way here. Now that would have ended up filling us, but that's okay. It's something to also take back, put in our back pocket here, and looking forward. All right, so it is trading some of that high liquidity, and something to note. All right, so trading is life. Here you go. Here's your move back to your VWAP here, and let's see if we have high liquidity here. We have a zone too, like a technical kind of area in here. Maybe a little bit higher here. I would maybe look at this level up here, a little bit through the VWAP. Is what I'd be looking at, somewhere around in here. And we do have low volume up in that area too. So we got a whole bunch of reasons for potentially shorting in this zone up here. All right. But I don't see anything yet in the order flow. Actually, there is something kind of interesting here in the order flow. I don't know if we're quite ready for a reversal yet, but this is a great area to start to take profit if you're still in it. Okay, this is a very powerful thing. Like I said, guys, I've got some videos and a new course coming out. This is one of them in here to go over again and again and again. This is better for an exit, also for potential reversal entry. So why the exit? Okay, first off, high liquidity. Okay, you've got your VWAP and you've got your higher time frame zone that we talked about. We have high liquidity that was absorbed here. We went through it a little bit. We get a retest in here and we get very little buying. Okay, instead we get selling. We get exhaustion and selling. So move on up, high liquidity in a zone, is absorbed. On the retest, we have exhaustion and some selling, looking for the sellers to come back in. All right, now we got another retest back up here, kind of another rotation here. So what? This is a great area to consider taking some profit, and maybe even depending on your strategy, it could even be a potential entry. Okay, for me, it's a little too early. Shark, this is something that a lot of times this is kind of what happens in here in that 1 2 3 pattern. So in fact, let's just kind of cover that if we can. Our 1 2 3 Okay, so now we'd be looking for here might be your 1, 2, 3. And now we're looking to see if we can break some structure, see the sellers come in, and then get the test to the backside of the trend, or a kind of a low volume pullback into the same area in here that will help us confirm the reversal, potential reversal. All right, way to go, Trading's Life. So you got out, you made a few bucks, uh, and this market is making you nervous. Yeah, it is. It is. Um, and that's something to just to note, So, you know, uh, look for really high quality setups, as well as the um, how was I going to say, or just really reduce your risk. So, if you're trading, e-minis, go into micros, etc. Yep. All right, so kind of a bummer on this one here. This didn't get us a pullback whatsoever. This was the move, kind of the anticipated move here, was this reversal due to all these factors that we'd mentioned in here, and we didn't get a chance at it here. There was no pullback. Anyway, let's zoom out a little bit. Let's get rid of all this mess and start afresh. So shark, this is, boy, this is exactly, I would have been looking for this shark. I'll tell you, exactly this. This into liquidity, your pullback into this area right in here, and a downtrending line, and then you'd be looking for this bigger move here to unfold. Okay, probably down to the bottom of the range in POC. It even went through that, and then retested the backside of that in here. This POC is really nice, actually. It aligns very nicely with this this level here, and then the breakthrough and retest to it. So some nice stuff. At least you got a little bit of a pullback in here, so you POC traders might have gotten on that. Okay, let me see if there's any questions. Is there a tool on Bookmap that merges all data? Yep, Alois is all over it. It says it's called multi-book. You can look at up to 5 different exchanges within one instrument for crypto. Now, it's interesting you mentioned that, GH. We're going to take that a lot further. So for all of you futures traders, or basically any instrument, you will be able to make your own synthetic instruments. This is a really beautiful thing. So you want to be able to trade the 10-year, 2-year spread. You can put it within one instrument. You can trade it from the DOM if you want. Okay, you can trade it from the heat map, from the chart. It doesn't matter. So new course will be out, Shawshank, in let's just call it early April. Okay, I can't wait. Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff for you guys. And then again, we want to turn it right over into the Bookmap Academy. I mean, you can trade any way you want in the Academy, but we'll have more structure around it, and start to get into trade management and also get into trader psychology. Okay. So yeah, looking forward to it. All right, guys, so this is the move. This is the big nice move to the downside here. Kind of missed that one. It did not give us a chance to get in here, and it's a little late now. Well, I mean, we could look for some pullbacks in here. Okay, so in fact, let's do that. Again, in this environment, we are looking for pullbacks. Okay, and maybe these ranges in here, they just continue to get tested. So, and here we go now. Okay, now I'm looking for a low volume pullback in this area here, except there's a few caveats. We're getting back down to low a day, and now look at the buying coming in. This is not a low volume pullback. Okay, this is back and forth right now. Okay, look at the dots, the color, in fact, location as well. So we're seeing quite a bit of buying, and it's above this area right here. Okay, so this is we may see the buyers come back in for a retest back up. Okay, at least point of control, which is a nice structural area we mentioned earlier as well. Okay, or the swing up here at 70. Okay, so we've got some trap volume here potentially, and we'll see. Okay, I don't have a whole lot to go off in here. I would be looking for buyers to come back up into about 70-ish. I'm going to hold off though. I know a lot of you guys, John and Moby and others. There we go. There's a nice move into 70. We might get a continuation. I know a lot of you guys are also looking at your delta columns in here, which is fantastic. So I'm just adding another chart range volume profile, and we'll look at the delta in here. This is it here. So it's buy minus sell. It's taking this same column here, same data, but it's subtracting the buyers or the sellers from the buyers and outputting it here. So if there's more sellers, it would be a red bar in your volume profile. This is a great way to start to understand, like, wow, okay, see the selling down in here. This is trapped. Okay, I mean, it could be a stop run, could be new sellers, whatever it is. Look where the retest came. You just can't make this stuff up. In fact, it came. This is a little inaccurate. So if I take, actually that's about right, but you can see it here, right? If I align it here with that selling and then take that across, look where we retested, right? So this can offer you some nice food for thought in here, something to go back and study. Look for your setups in here, okay? Because you've got some nice delta in here. Could be a stop run, it could be trap volume. Might have been, if it's a stop run, which most likely it is, which we can add on here. Let's just go back in, add it on. We will not have to do this in the near future, guys. We'll not have to add it on the original instrument and then TraderMap Pro. Soon it will be right into TraderMap Pro, which is really great. Okay, and let's verify. Yeah, we see a stop run here, and then we do see some. This is going to be trap selling. Out. Okay, and then squeezed. Just wicked. Okay, so what I mean, Shawshank here is. So we know that these are stop runs in here. Okay, so this is stop run. This is stop run. These big sellers in here. anything in here that's not a stop run. Now there's going to be other smaller stops in here, I believe. I believe I have it filtered. Just think about it though. Anyone who's selling down in here, when price gets up above them, they are in the negative, right? So this is trap volume. So if we look at our delta column in here, we know this is selling at the bottom edge here, okay, at the CVP column here. Okay, so this is selling. Get back up above and we see buying, we're looking for the squeeze. Okay, we've got a video on it. I can send it to you. Okay, if you go to, I'll show you where to go. Go to bookmap.com, education, in our learning center in here. I believe it's in order flow phenomena, but it might be under getting started here. Yeah, let's try that, and let's take a look at our columns here in our volume delta right here. Yeah.
To test high liquidity at the upper ranges.
Yeah.
Note
Like
this leads to many interesting insights.
Yeah, this is it. All right, so you can go here, and we cover it in here as well. There you go. You know what I was thinking? Wow, where did this come from? Is this news, guys? All of a sudden here, kind of looks like it. I don't know if someone has their news feeds up. Shark, excellent. Yeah, warms my heart. All right, great trading. Way to go. So you nailed it on that on your 1, 2, 3. Really great to hear. Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of an odd move. It kind of has a bit of a look to it that it's geopolitical. Hard to tell though. I mean, you can see it pulling liquidity down here as well. So that kind of also gives us a little bit of a tip off. High liquidity filled in here though. That stopped it. Hard to tell. Oh, okay. So this is where I left off. Another mistake I think I've been making in these webinars is too much of an expectation for a bigger move to unfold. So, you know, we started, I think it was like a week or two ago, we were looking at just hitting singles and just looking for, okay, you know, on the smaller time frame, maybe it's not a high quality setup, but it's pretty good, and it's a good example to demo. You know, this is what we're looking for. These are our expectations, and just hit a single. Just take a a quick scalp, look for it to move a certain amount, and then just get out and reassess. Look for the next one. Okay. Instead of looking for something bigger and then holding it, regardless of the time, not the time frame, regardless of the the time frame of the setup. Yeah, that might be a little bit wiser to do during this webinar here. That's the way we've always handled it before, was to just go through as many examples as we can hitting singles. That might be better, because as we know, like as we covered, like it did work out yesterday. This is the big move we were looking for yesterday, and it didn't happen until much later. 1 p.m., 1:30, somewhere around between 1 and 1:30, did we really see that move come out. And this was, I found it very difficult trading in here in this chop. Okay, usually it's like strong move, pull back, strong move, and nope, flagged all day long, and then we got the buyers coming in much later in the afternoon. Anyway, that's that. Since we're here, let's take a look at it and what's going on in here. So yeah, all right, so our 15-minute chart in here, we explored the upper end here. We're not coming nowhere close to a gap fill. The swings in here, actually, you can see the selling just retested back down here. So we're right back in the middle of the range, and we see kind of a spinning top in here. So I have looking at the candlestick, I would maybe give a little bit of a nod to the downside, more likely, but it is very difficult to try to ascertain by what we're looking at here in the candle. Okay. Hourly, you'd look for the continuation down. The daily, boy, it's almost turning into, oh, it's right in the middle. I mean, so nothing really shaking on the daily here. Yeah. Anyway, we'll continue to keep an eye on it here. All right, guys, it's getting a little messy for me. I'm going to take the stops and icebergs off here. And we'll jump back to our Trader Map Pro. Okay, and yeah, I'm also going to do a few things in here. Number one, I'm going to go to my heat map settings, and I'm going to, usually I look at the default. Okay, I just hit restore, but we're going to make it a little bit starker in here, and look at the higher time frame liquidities, as well as let's clear our drawings yet again, and we'll keep point of control and VWAP on for the moment here. All right. Okay, here we go. So actually, let's take a look at our, all right, so here we go again. The nod to the downside, are we going to break this in here? Looks pretty good. We're at lows. Now, let's keep an eye on this, though. Okay. Wow, the sellers are back. Let's take a look at some market structure. This one's starting to break, so can take a look at back up to here. Oh, way to go, DNT. All right, nailed it, huh? Excellent. Excellent. DNT, a little bit of it, just some suggestions in here. All right, looking at your markup here. So for those of you over on YouTube, this is what we do in our Bookmap Academy. Okay, so DNT's a Bookmap Academy member, and he's marking up his charts in here, and we go through what he was looking at and you can see his position in here as well. So we mentioned we've got a lot of things up in here happening at this area, and we were looking for a pullback. And you can see DNT got in a little early here, and right in kind of in right after it traded into that high liquidity, and then you can even see that little double top we talked about right here, and you got in kind of in between there. DNT, just to try this, okay? Try this as a study. Don't get in here. Try to get in over here. Okay? Wait for that structure to break. Wait for those sellers to come in. Wait for that exhaustion over here, and look for that, because we were looking for that too, and then we wanted to pull back to it to enter, and we didn't get a chance. It just totally left us behind. That's what happens when you're near a pullback trader. A lot of times you won't get that. Okay, but try that. I think that will you can just see it in here. It's just kind of begging. Well, you got this structure here, and that's where you actually took your first leg of take profit, but you got this one in here as well, which lines up pretty nicely. Okay, and then you got a structure break in here as well. It's a little bit lower here, but you can also look at that one there or this one here, right? And you got your break there. Okay, and you've got a lot of selling down here as well. So you can line up your selling and you can see where it picked up. Really was kind of in this area here. So maybe right in here, potentially, okay? Or maybe a little bit higher up in here. All right, just some suggestions. All right, hope it helps. Also, this will keep you, from, it's easier. It's just easier trading. Now, the FOMO part will be hard to maybe overcome, and that's what we're talking about. What I'm talking about in terms of the Bookmap Academy. So here's a way to reduce your stress in the trade, and that'll really help on your your mental energy, or how much capacity you can put into your trading if you're a lot less stressed. Okay, so yeah, consider some of those things. Then you'll have to overcome the FOMO on the way up, but once you kind of grab it on the way, when it starts to kind of turn over, it's doing the same thing right up in here where we had our line. But this will be, it doesn't go against you. Okay, so all of this chop and this back and forth, which you don't know, might find more buyers, they might take it higher. You've got a higher likelihood the sellers are coming in to take it lower. Anyway, some food for thought there. Alec, welcome. Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, been kind of hectic for you at work. Okay, no problem. Yeah, you've been doing some real nice work though. Some great markups. If you guys have any questions about that Bookmap Academy and what I'm talking about, you'll need to come over to bookmap. Yeah, you can go to bookmap.com and you can click on the more button here. You can join our Discord room here. And the Bookmap Academy room is here. Well, I'm sorry, the web page is here, and you can apply here if you want. Okay, this is something more particular, the Academy. You can go through a process in here and get Bookmap for free, actually, if you continue on with the program. First steps first would be to come over and join our Discord. And then our Bookmap Academy, we have a specific room directly in Discord that will go through you know, the markups and kind of what we just did with DNT matter. Great, Shark. You know, do a replay and mark it up. Okay, for your setup that you took earlier. Fantastic. Yeah, this is where like that whole thing, and why we go through these smaller time frames. Like, you know, you can see kind of a microcosm of it here. I mean, yeah, you can definitely mark it up like that. It's a little aggressive, maybe more like this, and that's pretty aggressive too. Kind of squinting at it a little bit. Nonetheless, like, you know, it chopped around after hitting up in our level that we marked up before it was tested. And we have high liquidity in here as well. Okay, here, and tested there. And then we see some buyers, some absorption. Now the absorption was a little bit here, but there's some up here. And then we didn't get really exhaustion. There's not much buying up here, but we see some heavy selling first here on the retest, and then again here. We're looking for the sellers to try to drive it away, and they were able to. Okay. Now, what has happened so far? Well, we again traded into high liquidity again on the bid in here. So these sellers met the buyers down here, and we can see the chop. Now we're in a range bound area. You're welcome, DNT. Just some suggestions. That's all. Oh, you're talking about London close. Yep, that's correct. Um, I'm kind of curious. I did not check this morning. Let's do it though, for just a quick Google search here. ES CME volume, and then we'll go to volume and open interest from the CME contract spec. And the volume should have rolled over by now. Yeah. Yeah, just rolled over, as you guys can see. So we should be trading the June contract now for sure, which is the M contract. You can see it here, ESM 5 for 2025. If you have more questions about that as well, you can go to bookmap.com, help, symbols. That'll bring up our symbols guide, and you can see the month codes in here. Okay, so these are quarterly for the stock indexes, interest rates, and currency futures. So H is for March, June is M, then U is for September, and then Z is for December. All right. And we're on the M contract now. Okay, heavy chop, mostly buying though. And let's take a look here. What does it look like on our higher time frame? Boy, if we see this continued momentum here to the downside, we're looking for probably down to, I would say 55.65 or 55. And again, this is still the H contract. So, well, anyway, down to the swings here that you'll see on the M contract, and the gap in here. Okay, so yeah, if we see this downward momentum here. Okay, Omar. Yeah, been on the M contract since yesterday. Yeah, we were kind of both yesterday. Typically, like to be honest, like I'll usually wait until the volumes are trading more on the new contract. The reason being is a lot of times I'm just not. I see others trading like the next contract, and the order flow though in Bookmap just doesn't look good. It doesn't look right. It's too thin. So I'll go back to the old contract. All right, so market structure again. Get rid of some of these lines in here. For those of you new to Bookmap, really recommend that start with the basics, the three elements on the Bookmap chart, which are price action of the best bid and offer. Well, let me just show you here. Okay, so this is streaming price action. Now you can put candles on here if you like as well. Okay, and you can look at your candlestick chart and relate that price action to your candles. Okay, but anyway, just candles or best bid and offer. Okay, this is what creates the market structure. Okay, like this structure here, example, and now this new one here. Okay, plus we put in our diagonals as well, but that's why we put in this horizontal line here. Okay, it's because of the market structure over here. All of this area, the breakdown, and then the retest back to the structure. So anyway, so market structure, now let's just clear them all. Then we look at the volume dots within that structure. This is the aggressor volume, market buy and sell orders, and start to understand that structure with volume. So for example, this breakdown here, well, who's in control of that is extremely clear. Sellers, and they actually initiated that move up here. Okay, so we can also look at maybe supply zones up in here. All right, but let's just keep it simple, and we'll just say they are in control from in this structure here. Okay, that's why we're seeing this retest up here and not finding many buyers up here. Okay, but we can also see buyers in here in these smaller structures, right? That's one of the first things to note, and then put the context together of the buyers within that structure. Now this may seem kind of simplistic, but this is what has helped me and what I do every day is understand the aggressors within the structure. I know who's in control very easily on any time frame in here. You can know who's in control, or if you don't know, if there's both buying and selling, well, that also is very telling. Okay, so understanding that is for me very, very important. Being able to understand zones and then who's in control in those zones. So here again, like now we can see that the buyers are kind of out of control here, right? We're below it here. So we can look for maybe a retest to this area, but now sellers coming back in, and maybe a retest back down into the swing here or the low of the day here. Okay, well, that's, you can start to kind of mark up your charts looking for who's in control or by the volume within the structure. All right, so now There's one more context though, and that is to understand now the other side of the trade, which is liquidity. Okay, very simply. And that's when we turn on the heat map. We can see the liquidity that comes from your order book here, and we can see it in the dome. Okay, the number of contracts at each price level. These are passive limit sell orders above the market and limit buy orders below. But then we record it and plot it on the chart historically. So you can see up here we had really big liquidity for just a moment, but it's recorded now. You can't see it now, it's gone. But you can see it here. You can see the same player. This is likely the same player here. And maybe in some of these areas in here too. Okay, so you can start to put many things together by starting to understand the passive orders, limit buy and sell orders. And it's this context between these three elements that give us the insight in the order. Okay? So for example, did this high liquidity transact? Some of it did, some of it was pulled, it looks like. Down here, it did transact. In here, it looks like it transacted, in here as well. Okay, so we know that these sellers met buyers here, buyers here, buyers here as well. We missed this one, and now buyers here. Okay, that's where they met, and they could not. They were absorbed here. All that selling was absorbed by the passive buyers, and now we see buyers in on the other side. Okay, and that's what's. This is where this move initiated. All right, so I hope that helps. Very, very simple things, but this is really what makes up the market. Okay, if you have any questions on that too, I would recommend that you go to bookmap.com, click on education, and then go to our market mechanics course right here, and start with part 1, and we'll go through that. All right. Tricky trading up in here. We're kind of still making higher lows in here, but I don't see a lot of buying. I see some exhaustion and some selling. But you know, I would look for the sellers here at the bottom edge and for them to break it and retest the swing down here. To be honest, that's what I would look for in this environment. We can give it a shot, you know, but again, this has been a tricky environment. So having, you know, it retest back up into these areas has happened frequently. Okay, but we'll just look for the move back down to the bottom of the range here. Okay, high liquidity coming in here at 60. Okay, so this is where these sellers might meet some buyers here. So that's another thing to consider. And you can also kind of front run or put your order along with them. Now, if you put your order along with them in here, you are in the end of the line. Okay, they have to trade into and through that liquidity to get to you. Okay, so now we're filled there. But we're, you know, still kind of looking for it to go lower. Now, see how this is where it always kind of cracks me up. A lot of traders say, well, you know, I'm looking for it down here, and I get that. You know, I'm looking for the target down here, but liquidity matters. It makes a big difference. Why did it bounce in here? Well, because there was liquidity in here, and there was not the real answer is there were not enough sellers in here to get through these buyers. Okay, these buyers here absorbed the selling, and we get a bounce. Okay, now we're getting more sellers down below, and we look for a continuation to the next level of liquidity. Okay, but liquidity makes a big difference. It matters. Okay, so it's just a lot of times we get blowback saying, well, you know, it's all fake anyway, it doesn't matter. I think it's just an excuse for really not understanding market mechanics or being able to read the liquidity very well. Okay, because it really does matter. I mean, you can't make up this stuff, trading into these areas and then the reaction out of those areas. All right, guys, let's see here. Any other questions? All right, DNT and Shark, you guys are connected there. All right. I don't think there's any other questions. How about in YouTube? Stan, no, you can get more than 1 hour of historical data with Rhythmic. 1 hour is free. However, you can subscribe to I think up to 24 hours of historical data. And it's actually going to come not from Rhythmic, it's going to come from DX feed or futures though. Okay, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's just that it comes from a different data feed. It will fill in that historical data for you. Right. Anyway, and I think it's $14 a month, $12 or $14 a month, if you're interested in that. There's another way around it actually. If you connect to Bookmap data, because we actually provide data for futures as well, and you can see it here in this contract here. This is BMD. It says Bookmap. I'm not connected actually to Rhythmic right now. I'm connected to Bookmap data. Okay, so let's zoom all the way out here. I cannot. I have this special version of Bookmap that allows me to really zoom out. Well, you can see where we're going with this, Stan. Pretty soon you'll be able to, with Bookmap data, you'll be able to zoom out for like a couple of years. Okay, again, this is going to take a little while for us to get here, but you can see that you can get it. So I think with Bookmap data, Alois, you probably know better than me, but with Bookmap data, I believe you can get up to 48 hours of backfill data. My COB is not aggregated. This is full depth here, Jonathan. Okay, if we go over to our Trader Map Pro in here, no, this is not aggregated. If I right click in here and I configure the column, I can add aggregation here, and it will take one price level, add it to the next, add it to the next, add it to the next, etc. So you get this V shaped in here like this. Okay, thank you, Alois. So with Bookmap data, you can get up to 48 hours of backfill data for free. Look into it, and yeah, I would. You might consider it. Okay, it's on. That information is available on the website, Stan. Yes, it's able. You are able to make trades from. Well, either way. Yeah. So if I invoke, see, I believe I need to open the MES here. So what you're talking about is this cross trading instruments functionality that we developed a long time ago. Am I able to do it? Should be able to do it from here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can DC, but like I don't know right now with the bookmap data. Like I'm pretty sure you can do it. I do not see it right now available, and I just added the micro here with bookmap data. It's best to check with support on that. Um, shouldn't be an issue. I don't know why it's not showing up right now. Oh, I know why. I know why it's not. I'm sorry. Uh, it will work. It's that I'm in, look in the lower right-hand corners because I'm in simulated right now. That's why. You have to be in the live environment when you connect. Okay, so you have to connect to trading real and not trading simulated. Then it will show up. Okay, no problem. It'll work for you. I'd be, yeah, I wouldn't believe it. Anyway, um, all right, guys, let's take one last kind of look here. What's happening in the market, and boy, not much. I'm really happy you guys got that VWAP trade here on the move down. That was great. I missed it and looking for a pullback. Well, the pullback came in here, but I am not interested in the pullback with this kind of volume in here. I mean, just look at it. This is not what I'm looking for whatsoever. I know sellers took control here and moved it, but look at the volume down here, the relative volume that you see here on the sell side. I like it here. The relative volume between these two is also, you see more buyers in here, but we have high liquidity that traded here, and we're below most of that volume in here with sellers. That's where the squeeze comes in. And look at all the buying coming right back in here again. So no, I would not be interested here. I missed it because I didn't get involved here, and I'd look for a pullback. Okay? That's what happens with the pullbacks. Sellers in control again here, guys, on this move. Okay, so right in here, that heavy selling, and buyers, if they're going to disrupt it, they need to get back up above it, and we need to see buying pressure on it. Okay, it's a big if because look at the momentum in our bigger picture here. And not saying it can't happen. It's just looking like it. That we're not going to get it. We're going to get continuation to the downside here. A lot of momentum here so far in the moves. Okay. All right. So let's see. Jonathan, what's the significance when people are pulling bids? It means that they do not want to trade right in front of those price levels. That happens all the time. Yeah, they got cold feet. Maybe they're spoofing. Doesn't matter. It means that that supplier demand is no longer there. It also opens up the door. For example, if let's suppose these guys pull down here. Well, these sellers cannot meet the buyers here any longer. They need to meet them down here. Okay, so if we get enough momentum on that sell side, we will trade back down to the lower level. Okay, now you'll see there's a lot of games in the order book. There's games by the aggressors too, but a lot of times you'll see it pull here, and they'll actually flip and add on the offer up here, and it depends on the reaction of the aggressors at that point. And maybe the aggressors also like, well, I'm not interested in trading down there. There's no more buyers. I'm interested in taking on the buyers or the sellers up in here. If it was pulled liquidity or newly added, see it is happening right now. Newly added liquidity up here. Okay, maybe they'd be interested in that. Okay, so these are considerations. Okay? It's this context again between these three elements. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. Tom B is next. I believe he's on Discord and YouTube today. Come on over to our Discord channel and partake in the community. We've got really great community guys over here, so uh, uh, there's really no cost involved to it. You will need to register with bookmap.com soon, so you might want to check it out. Thanks for coming, everybody, and we'll catch up with you later this afternoon for the onboarding webinar, then the Bookmap Academy on Thursday, and then the All Markets webinar will be on Friday, and we'll see you then. Thanks for coming, everybody. Good trading.